darlings, we want to make sure that you ace this ed puzzle on proportions, etc. So you want to make sure you're an expert at proportions. And of course, you can combine it with previous topics. Make sure you know how to calculate scale factor. And make sure you know how to write all the appropriate steps for solving proportions, percent proportions, and similar figures. Before you go any further, you also need to watch Rady the Math Cat. So watch it one more time and then go forward. All Edpuzzler answers are final and cannot be changed. Remember, you cannot go back to a question, and you cannot email me later with different answers. So make sure you have your blank sheet of scratch paper and something to write with. I'm going to ask you about the steps going through these. So I have neither given nor received any unauthorized help on this assignment. That means no other websites. You may not open Rady the Math Cat past this screen. You need to make sure you are not using a calculator and you are not using any other websites. All right, so you must know and write the steps like this. So you have 24/8 equals 22.5 over x. Make sure you do your butterfly multiplication and write that nice equation. I'm going to ask you what this equation is in several of the questions. Multiply the side without the letter. Bring the rest of it down. Then whatever's in front of or next to the letter, you want to divide both sides by that. And then any number divided by itself is going to be canceled. I'm going to ask you what fraction you cancel in some of these. And we cancel it because it equals 1, so it just kind of disappears on its own. Because 1 times x is just x. Then on the other side, I do want you to divide and find a decimal, rounding to the nearest hundredth. All right, so go ahead and solve 2/3 equals n over 6. Next, solve this proportion, writing down the steps. So I'm not going to ask the answer for that. What I want is the equation after doing that butterfly multiplication. So I'm looking at this proportion. Then, a little further down, what is the fraction that you cancel towards the end of this problem? What scale factor do you use to make a 5 millimeter object 100 millimeters? What scale factor do you use to make a 12 centimeter object 3 centimeters? Name 2 rates, including the units from those rates, from Rady the Math Cat video. As we learned from Rady the Math Cat, rates usually have the word in design class. This is pretend. You built a model of a house. The real house would be 440 feet across the front, but the model is 0.75 feet across the front and 0.6 feet tall. How tall would the real house be? Next, take a good look at this picture. Might be a good idea to draw it. Solve the proportion to find C, writing the steps. What is the equation made by doing the butterfly multiplication in this particular problem? And what is the fraction that you cancel out towards the end? All right, you survived. You did it. It was a tough one. Make sure you know how to write these steps on your test. I'm going to be grading the steps. So this was a practice for that because you don't want it the first time you practice to be the test. You did a great job. Take a deep breath. You're done. Have a great day.